Hey guys, welcome to another one, guys. We're gonna do a quick drive. If you guys have seen my last video addressing the new V2 IE DSG Tune, TCU DSG Tune, same thing. We gave pretty good feedback on the tune. It's a great revision. It drove really nicely. However, there were a lot of kind of, I don't want to say complaints, but some concerns, I guess, within the community. A lot of folks were worried about the tune and kind of overall drivability because it was a pretty aggressive tune. You know, the tune itself, it was, the clamping pressure, I mean, it really kind of felt like the transmission was going to fall out of the car. A lot of people were kind of freaking out about that, to the point where, you know, I've even noticed a little bit of, I guess, aggressive shifts. I was thinking about throwing a dog bone mount, you know, to really tighten it up. But, you know, needless to say, the shifts that you guys were feeling, they weren't bad shifts. I mean, it's not the end of the day for your transmission because it's shifting that hard. There are, you know, safety parameters put into these tunes that, you know, allow these cars to, you know, shift as hard as they do when they're tuned. So, you know, a lot of people were concerned about that, and, you know, to basically address it, you know, nothing is bad with that type of shifting. I know a lot of people are kind of concerned about it now. You know, lugging it, you know, really kind of stomping on it, shifting early, you know, a lot of torque on the clutch. I could see how that could be an issue, but again, when you're in drive and just doing the normal shift points, it should feel pretty normal. And I guess something that was also sort of addressed with the new revision at V2 was the gearing was a little bit, you know, a little delayed, so it would kind of keep you in first gear a little longer, second gear, you know, so that's all good things, and a lot of people really like that, and myself included. I did really enjoy that aspect of the tune. Now, we are at v2.01, so there's been a slight revision. This revision, if you ask me, is another huge step in the right direction for IE. One of my biggest irks with this new tune was the way Sport Auto was shifting. It shifted so, it's still, you know, I don't drive my cars in Sport Auto unless I'm launching it and just chasing kind of quarter-mile times, but oh man, the kickback is back, you know. It's just, it drives way better in Sport Auto. It's not perfect. Sport Auto will never, even as an idea, will never be perfect, because if you think about it, it's still going to try to shift over itself. It's still a computer. Now a DSG, you know, it does monitor the way you drive, but I shift a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised that this thing also shifts a lot itself. You know, it just makes sense that that's something that would happen. Let's shift so I can hear myself think. But anyway, guys, so it's all better. It's significantly better. And another thing that I also kind of want to just address as a whole is the aggressive shifts that some of you guys are feeling have been, you know, dumbed down a little bit. What I mean is, it doesn't necessarily feel what is going on here. Dude, I'm telling you, these people. Oh my God, some wild driving out today. But yeah, the transmission feels great. You know, it still has that crazy reaction feeling. You know, it's every gear change is snappy, you know, especially when you're on it. You know, if you're cruising, you know, it's still going to give you that kind of delayed DSG dual clutch feel, but you know, once you're really on it, oh man, it's just like the downshifts still feel good. And I'm purposely clicking the paddle so you can hear when I flick the paddle from when this thing shifts, because it is still very snappy. And I wanted to kind of just do a little bit of this kind of on the highway, just so you guys, you know what, actually we'll go this way, why not? We'll keep chatting. But guys, this tune feels so good. It's so much better. You know, I didn't have too much to complain about the last one. I think the only thing I really was, you know, kind of making fun of was the way the Sport Auto was. It felt so just not organic. It's, you know, and like I keep saying, it'll never feel perfect. It's just the idea of it. You know, a Sport Auto setting is just never good, because, you know, to be honest with you, nothing beats just manually shifting, because that's, I mean, you have full control over the gearing and everything. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. You know, so if you really want to get the best experience, you know, from your DSG gearbox, throw it in manual. Nothing wrong with that. Even if you override it, a cool trick, which some of you guys may not know, and I learned this honestly a little late in the game with the GTI, of course. It didn't take me to the Golf R, but if you want to turn off manual shifting, you hold down the up paddle, again, if you're in your normal drive setting. So something kind of cool, again, if you're in manual mode, you can't override it, you can't put yourself back to automatic, you have to click it back and then just hold the paddle down. In this case, I'm already in automatic mode, but kind of a cool thing. let's see, what else? The launches feel so good, and one thing I kind of just want to address is I don't think I really talked about it in my last video. So one thing I also kind of want to address in this video is just the overall launches. The launch control doesn't feel any different from when they released version 2, which wasn't too long ago for at least the 2019 Golf Rs. We're still waiting on that Crackle Tune IE. I'm ready when you are. But aside from that, no, the transmission feels super good and super snappy when you launch it. I had Danny, which you guys are familiar with Danny, he has the gray Mark 7.5. You know, that thing is just built and just, it's so ready for racing. However, his launches, it's not as hard, and I don't think it's necessarily he's got a, you know, overused gearbox. That's not it. It's the tune. You know, the tune is just a little bit kind of rides the clutch a little bit more as opposed to just dumping it. This dumps the clutch. This just goes. I mean, it's so unbelievably reactive once you let off the brake. The way this thing launches is just, compared to most other cars, it's I can't think of it. Again, for the price range, these are still an insane bargain if you're looking to kind of start drag racing or even just have a fun, you know, weekend driver. Or, I mean, for me, it's my daily driver. You kind of can't go wrong with a Golf R as a daily driver. I mean, I've been doing it, and now with this revised tune, the gearing is just a little bit smoother and it just feels better. I think that's just the one thing that they were missing when they released it. I think they were just going for the most crazy clamping force possible, which is good for those upgraded turbos, and especially if you run ethanol, you know, you don't have to worry about any slipping, but at the same time, you know, the gearbox did feel a little bit like it was, you know, it felt like I should be doing some premature DSG fluid swaps, if you guys know what I mean. As I mentioned, those safety parameters are there. The car's not gonna, you know, eat itself alive. It's not how that works. And again, with these more modern DSGs, you know, I know you guys probably are familiar with the DSG gearbox, and especially from prior years, this DQ381, man, it's such a treat. It's so much better than my GTI's DQ250, and that too was still a great gearbox. You know, nothing to really knock there, but yeah, just kind of things I wanted to address with you guys. I know there's probably some people out there just wondering, hey, you know, I got this new update on my car. Should I pursue the update? Absolutely. You know, anytime that IE does release an update, for every possible reason, it's going to be an improvement from the last revision, so the last tune. So whenever you guys see an update, I know, you know, some of you guys may not like the new pops and bangs. To your benefit, I would recommend just flashing it. You know, every revised tune is going to be a dramatic improvement, because all this research and development goes into those older tunes. Could you imagine, you know, how much more improved these newer tunes are? And to be honest with you, it's cool to kind of see how these tunes are evolving on these cars. This car is a much better driving car. I mean, it's just so unbelievably fun to drive. You know, the gears are just still unbelievably, so unbelievably snappy. And 60,000 mile car, guys. I know a lot of people eek, you know, when they see, you know, they're on looking for cars, used cars, whatever. This thing is at 60,000 and it doesn't at all feel like it's at 60,000 miles. I mean, it's crazy. I don't, you know, the gears still feel super strong. The gearbox doesn't feel, you know, lurchy. You know, you don't get that feeling with, especially this DQ381 paired with this tune. You know, so I do want to kind of, you know, have a lot of you guys, at least for some peace of mind. I do drive my cars hard. I launch them. I definitely launch them. You know, it's as a package, it's just, you just can't go wrong. It's just endless fun. So anyway, we'll probably wrap the video up there. I appreciate all you guys for watching, and we'll have some more updates hopefully in the future. I'm excited. I hope IE, you know, but please give me that new Crackle Tune. I want to try it out before I let go of this car, because you know, I've seen some reviews on it, and you know, it looks kind of cool. So so yeah, hopefully you know, some cool stuff to come. Again, this car isn't going anywhere in the immediate future, so stay tuned. We still got some more Golf R content, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace and love.